All right, Senate Bill 509. Senator Roosevelt, are you here?
Yep.
Come on up. And Chris Medeo, Gabriel Van Fyck, Winston Berkman Breen, please come on up. Pull Winston up, please. My senator, my favorite senator by far.
Thank you. One of my 3 favorite delegates.
Yes, I understand.
Thanks very much, and it's great to be with all of you. I see a lot of good friends here. So this is an important bill, and it's not a very controversial bill, which is unusual to be important and not controversial. We all are aware of the Pell Grant program to help lower-income kids go to college. For years, there's been a bipartisan effort in Congress to create what's called a workforce Pell, which means Pell Grants for workforce programs in mostly the community colleges, but they could be in 4-year schools as well. For workforce programs that are not two-year degree programs and not 4-year degree programs. They're workforce programs that get people trained in a field, whether it's IT or whether it's CNA or whether it's welding, to be able to get good jobs. And we obviously know we have workforce shortages in a lot of areas. Well, one thing in either the big beautiful bill or the big ugly bill, depending on your point of view, passed by Congress last year, this was a golden nugget. The Congress finally created the Workforce Pell Program. And the way it's set up is that the states get the authority to approve the programs for which it's eligible. Only what are called Title IV institutions, which are basically colleges, commonsensically, and a few others, can access the money. But the specific programs of study have to be approved by the state. So as soon as the federal bill was passed, I got with the folks in the governor's office, State Department of Labor, Higher Education Commission, outside groups, and some of you will hear from today, to brainstorm how to make this as effective as possible in Maryland, including, and as some of you know, I'm kind of a champion of apprenticeships in particular. The Workforce Pell, when it was designed in the Congress, they weren't really thinking about apprenticeships, although it applies to apprenticeships. And so we put a lot of work in at the national level with the U.S. Department of Education to get the federal regulations to be what I call apprenticeship friendly. And then we have provisions in this bill to make our own program apprenticeship friendly. And I can go into details on that if you're interested. But that's the essence of the bill. It sets a framework for how do we make Workforce Pell work in Maryland. The reason it's a big deal is because Pell is a quasi-entitlement. If you qualify, you get the money. And we've had some problems in the last year or so of not getting federal money we were expecting. Well, this is one where if we get our act together and are aggressive about this, we can pull down a lot of federal money to help a lot of people in Maryland be able to get good training to get good jobs. Appreciate your attention. Happy to answer questions.
Sir, go ahead, sir.
All right. Hi, folks. My name is Chris Medeo. I'm from the Institute for College Access and Success here in support of this very strong bill. In addition to doing all the things Senator Roosevelt said, it also sets strong student-level protections for this program. In the bill, subsection F, as the bill is amended, and we support those amendments as well, includes certain things. One of them deals with ensuring that when schools contract out any part of the instruction to other companies, that there's transparency for students so they understand who is going to be teaching the program and that those programs are not like controlling the school. So that's one important protection. Another deals with affordability and ensures that these programs are affordably priced for students so that when they're using their Pell Grant, especially those students with the most need, that they are able to not need to take out a substantial amount of debt for a program that hopefully what we really want is to pay off for them, get them on their feet, and get a job. It has other important protections to ensure that students aren't pushed to predatory loan products, as well as ensuring that students can transfer their credits to other schools. So this is a really strong bill. It implements this important federal program, and it also puts protections to ensure that the bad actors don't see this as like another source of money that they can attack and waste for students. So I encourage you and respectfully ask a favorable report. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, Madam Vice Chair, and members of the committee. My name is Gabriel Van Fyck, representing the Maryland Workforce Alliance, and I'm here to testify in support of Senate Bill 509. The Maryland Workforce Alliance empowers a diverse network of stakeholders, including unions, trade organizations, and employers, to create, expand, and optimize high-quality work-based learning programs. These programs foster a skilled, diverse, and adaptable workforce that drives Maryland's prosperity and strengthens communities. Expanded Pell Grant funding to short-term workforce programs will expand opportunity for all Marylanders. We thank Rachel Stevens-Parker, the Executive Director of our Governor's Workforce Development Board, for her leadership in the proposed rulemaking. And we also thank Senator Rosapep for bringing this bill forward and for crafting it in such a way to maximize impact here in Maryland. As more residents seek alternatives to traditional post-secondary education, this funding will help training providers align with industry demand, promote greater economic mobility, career advancement, and enhance Maryland's competitiveness. MWA supports this bill especially because of how it has been crafted to maximize the development of more pathways into registered apprenticeships, which are a fundamental component to the building trades and a key emerging tool in other key industries, including healthcare and IT. Implementation should not be difficult. Community colleges across the state currently work with workforce programs and registered apprenticeships. Adding this additional funding stream would likely take only minimal additional administrative effort, and this ease of implementation will quickly lead to increased opportunities for both workers and employers. We believe the cost for implementation will be relatively low, while the payoff will be fairly high. For these reasons, we respectfully request a favorable report on Senate Bill 509. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We have a virtual witness here. Yes, sir, you're on. You have 2 minutes.
All right, thank you. Chair Barnes, Vice Chair Kaiser, members of the committee. My name is Winston Berkman-Green, and I'm the legal director of Protect Borrowers, a nonprofit policy organization focused on household and consumer debt, including education debt. We're proudly here in support of SB 509. I've submitted more detailed written testimony and want to focus my time today on some of the risks that you heard my colleague Chris from the Institute for College Access and Success touch on, and how I think that SB 509 would address some of those risks. So in short, for decades, bad actors have scammed students by offering high cost but low quality programs as a way to access students' federal financial aid specifically, especially through the federal programs such as Pell. We saw this with for-profit schools, and then with online boot camps, and then most recently with so-called online program managers, companies that build out virtual programs for colleges and universities. With the new Workforce Pell program, the federal government has made a whole new set of extra short-term programs that previously weren't eligible for federal financial aid, but now are eligible. So we should expect some scammers to take advantage of that. SB 509 offers some very common sense guardrails that would address this concern. First, it would make sure that only accredited programs can participate in Workforce Pell in Maryland. Second, it protects students from additional debt by prohibiting school partnerships with lenders, by capping program costs at the Pell amount. Third, and make sure any program someone attends with Workforce Pell grant money provides real skills and transferable credits that can actually increase the students' and participants' earning potential. These are all very common sense protections that Maryland can offer to ensure its residents get the most out of the Workforce Pell program rather than making it the next cash cow for the predatory industry out there. So we ask for a favorable report, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for your advocacy and everyone on the panel. Any questions for the bill sponsor? Go ahead, Delegate Edelson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was really going to ask about the specific guardrails to make sure that we're protecting students, but I think our most recent panelist really clarified that for me. So I suppose I'll just say this sounds like an excellent bill, but I'm not surprised given the senator that it's coming from and the outstanding alumni of the University of Maryland School of Law that's working on the bill. So happy to support it.
All right. We'll get this moving.
It's look up to you.
We'll get it moving as quickly as we can.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Thanks a lot, everybody.
All right, Senator Hester, House Bill 597. Michael Eistmeyer and Amupam Joshi, please come on up.
Good afternoon, Chair Barnes, members of the committee. Am I okay to start? For the record, Senator Katie Fry Hester, here to present Senate Bill 597, Higher Education Maryland Artificial Intelligence Partnership. This bill creates a centralized nexus for artificial intelligence initiatives, and it passed unanimously out of the Senate And I'm very grateful that there is $500,000 in the recently passed budget to kickstart this partnership. As you all know, AI is expected to transform every sector of our economy, creating new industries and significantly expanding economic output. Today, our technology sector contributes nearly $38 billion to Maryland's economy, and AI-related job postings have grown more than 40% in the past few years. Now, while Maryland's universities are already national leaders in AI research and development, we need to focus and leverage this asset for competitive advantage here in the state. Maryland currently lacks that one centralized hub to coordinate, align, and accelerate artificial intelligence activities. For example, College Park is ranked among the top 10 universities nationally for artificial intelligence. UMBC is launching a new master's program in AI, and nearly 2/3 of its doctoral research focus on AI. The University of Maryland is Baltimore is applying AI power across medicine, dentistry, pharmacy, and law. Several other states have already taken the initiative to build centralized AI hubs and encourage collaboration with higher education. Mississippi, New Jersey, New York, Massachusetts have established AI Nexus, while many other states, including Delaware, Connecticut, Utah, and California, have integrated robust AI programs and partnerships with their universities. So what this bill does is it addresses this need at many different levels, establishing the AI partnership within the University System of Maryland. And the partnership will consult with state agencies, higher education institutions, the Maryland Small Business Development Center, and local workforce development boards. And then in collaboration with these entities, the partnership will connect and accelerate AI initiatives. In addition to creating the partnership itself, as amended, Senate Bill 597 includes several other provisions that support Maryland's future in AI. The first one is that the partnership will establish Maryland Technology Extension Hubs to act as points of contact connecting small business and community members. This is modeled off of our current Ag Extension program. The second is that it establishes the Artificial Intelligence Public Service Fellowship in the university system to match students at state institutions with state agencies to address AI projects. The third thing is it positions the Center for Equitable Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning at Morgan State University as a statewide resource for research on the secure and ethical use of AI. Fourth, it lays the groundwork for an artificial intelligence incubation lab within USM, subject to a memorandum of understanding between USM and the Department of Budget and Management to help state agencies accelerate the responsible use of AI across the state. And to tie this all together, it requires the partnership establish a strategic plan, including key goals, key metrics for the goals of increasing AI literacy, workforce, and business development, business plans for the implementation of the hub and the lab, and an analysis of our current scholarship and fellowship needs. I wanted to mention one thing before I turn it over to my panel, and that is in the Senate side, we did have the testimony from Dr. Carlin Napier, Director of the Mississippi AI Network at the Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. And their coordinated statewide AI initiative is the first of its kind in the nation, and since 2023 has united all public higher education systems, K-12 systems, state and local agencies, and industry partners across the state of Mississippi. So you really know where to go in Mississippi for AI support. And so Senate Bill 597 is modeled in a significant part on this main AI framework. And if you just look at what they've been able to achieve in the few years they've existed, there's currently much success. There's a single statewide AI curriculum delivered online at no cost across 15+ institutions. There are stackable micro-credentials for working adults. There is embedded AI data literacy across general education and career programs, and pipelines in manufacturing, healthcare, logistics, and defense. And so we felt that this main model was a good starting point, and we've worked with the University System of Maryland to build upon it. And so in closing, I wanted to say that by aligning the training, research, industry, and government collaboration, we can really effectively promote Maryland as a hub for AI talent and investment. And Senate Bill 597 is an important first step in proactively building that framework. There is one amendment that the Department of IT has suggested, and you guys all have that in their testimony. It just basically clarifies, their role. And with that and the knowledge that there's money in the budget and it passed unanimously, I urge your favorable report.
Good afternoon, Chair Barnes and distinguished members of the committee. My name is Anupam Joshi. I'm a longtime faculty member in my 28th year at UMBC in computer science, and currently have the privilege of serving as Vice Provost and Chief AI Officer of UMBC. It is my pleasure to add my voice to that of my USM colleagues in strong support of this bill, which leverages Maryland's unique academic and federal assets. As a USM institution that has Carnegie R1, community engaged, and minority serving designations, we recognize the potential of this bill to accelerate innovation, foster economic growth, and secure Maryland's leadership in AI. Along with our sister USM institutions, UMBC is ready to lead some of the key initiatives identified in this bill and ensure that a diverse pipeline of talent is AI ready for high-paying roles in the future economy. UMBC has long served as a critical node in Maryland's cybersecurity and AI ecosystem. Through our Cybersecurity Institute, the Maryland Institute for Innovative Computing, and programs like MTIP, we already provide the state with proof of concepts of the work that this bill seeks to scale. These include a cyber range that is used by community colleges and schools across the state, a cyber clinic, and work recently to red team some of the AI applications that the state is incubating. One of the most visionary components of this bill is the creation of the pilot tech extension hubs that will allow resources at UMBC and other USM institutions to be used by small businesses and individuals, local governments, for things like training in locally appropriate applications, smart farming, smart manufacturing, and so on and so forth. We therefore respectfully urge the committee to favorably consider this bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Barnes and members of the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to testify today. My name is Michael Eismeyer, USM's Associate Vice Chancellor for IT and CIO, and I'm speaking today on behalf of the University System of Maryland, which strongly supports Senate Bill 597. From a system leadership perspective, excuse me, we believe this bill is both timely and necessary. Establishing the Maryland Artificial Intelligence Partnership within the University System of Maryland recognizes that advancing artificial intelligence at the scale Maryland requires demands coordination across institutions, agencies, and regions, not isolated efforts. USM is structured precisely to provide that kind of statewide alignment and governance. As a system, USM brings together institutions and facilities that are necessarily distributed across Maryland's diverse geography. Our statewide presence allows us to serve as an effective backbone for the technology extension hubs envisioned in the legislation, ensuring that AI resources, training, and engagement are accessible to communities and employers throughout the state, not concentrated in a single location or region. Equally important is the collective expertise across all USM universities. Our institutions represent a broad and complementary portfolio of strengths in AI, spanning research, education, ethics, cybersecurity, health, engineering, data science, and public sector innovation. The partnership and the Artificial Intelligence Incubation Lab are designed to leverage that system-wide expertise, matching state needs with the right faculty, researchers, and students wherever they are located within USM. Senate Bill 597 also reflects a clear understanding that AI is not only a research and academic imperative, but a workforce and public service imperative. The expansion of training programs and scholarships to include artificial intelligence aligns directly with USM's mission to prepare Maryland's current and future workforce to serve the state. In closing, Senate Bill 597 positions, we urge a favorable report.
I appreciate your advocacy. Are there any questions for the bill sponsor or the panel? Thanks so much for bringing us the bill. It's great to see you. Stay there, Senator Hester. Actually, the next bill is sponsor only. I think we thought there were amendments, but they were only sponsor amendments. So just, I think, go ahead and we've already heard the bill.
Thank you very much, Chair Barnes. Members of the committee, for the record, Senator Katie Fry-Hester here to present Senate Bill 828, the Federal Obligations Enforcement Act. I just want to start off by reminding the committee, since you've heard it once already, that the bill is authorizing, and I agreed to sponsor this at the request of the comptroller, and I believe her staff is here today to answer any questions that you have. As you heard before, Maryland relies on federal funding to operate essential services, including transportation, public safety, healthcare, education, and infrastructure. And when funds that have been lawfully appropriated by Congress and sustained through judicial review are delayed or withheld, the resulting uncertainty disrupts budgeting, delays projects, and places unexpected strain on state resources. This committee has been dealing with this all session, I believe. There are some examples in my testimony, but I'll skip over them in the interest of time and remind you just what the bill does. It's authorizing, and it's designed to provide an orderly framework responding to when a court has issued that final decision upholding congressionally authorized spending and federal compliance does not follow. So under Senate Bill 828, the following is authorized. The Board of Public Works may determine by a majority vote that the federal government is delinquent in funds owed to the state following noncompliance with a final court order. The delinquent funds are referred to the Central Collection Unit. The Central Collection Unit may pursue collection remedies consistent with applicable law. And the comptroller may withhold certain state payments to the federal government to the extent permitted by law to offset delinquent obligations. Now, I think that the most likely way, once again, this is authorizing legislation, but I think the most likely way it could play out would be the idea of placing liens on federal property located within Maryland. Any such action would necessarily be undertaken with compliance with constitutional requirements. It's also important to note that this bill is triggered only after Congress has appropriated funds, a court has upheld that appropriation, and it's enabling if the state decides to take the next step. For these reasons, I respectfully request a favorable report on Senate Bill 828.
Great, thank you so much. Thanks for being with us. Any questions for the senator? Okay, thanks.
Thank you
Have a
very
good day.
much.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks for your great work on the budget.
Oh, thank you. Senator Washington, 198. And you can stay there for 864, and Senator McCray will get you after.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was hoping you would say your favorite senator as well.
You're one of my top three.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Senator Alonzo Washington here to present on Senate Bill 198. This bill is a simple bill. You know, we have over 9,000 aerospace and defense businesses and nearly about $38 billion in economic activity every year just in the aerospace industry. In Prince George's County, as most of you know, this is a Prince George's County local delegation bill. We have NASA Goddard, Joint Base Andrews, and major federal contractors. A lot of these jobs that are existing in Prince George's County are existing in high-wage jobs. For us in the county, however, and in the state, we don't have any of our community colleges that offer technical programs around aerospace and aviation. This bill would create and require Prince George's Community College to conduct a feasibility study to have its own program, the first in the state at a community college, so that our students can have a pipeline into this industry, whether they're going to Duval High School or to University of Maryland, and now hopefully with Prince George's Community College. There's money in the budget currently for this program to help pay for this feasibility study. So I'm hoping that this moves forward so we can see aerospace and aviation and engineering in our county grow much quicker than it is right now. As many of you know, I created the Maryland Aerospace and Technology Commission, which has been in existence for over 2 years now, and we sent out a report just last year of about 30 recommendations for the entire state. This was one of them that I took from that commission report, and I'm hoping that we can get this bill past the finish line, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is Duval in your district?
Duval is in my district.
You envision them partnering with the community college on this?
I do. I hope so. I'm actually going to be talking to Duval High School's aerospace and aviation program coordinator this week, actually,
Nice.
to talk more about it. And, you know, NASA's in my district, too. So I'm making sure that there's a synergy there from
100%.
here, from Duval High School, NASA, and back to Prince George's Community College, which is not in that conversation at all. And I think that's the part that we're missing here in the state and in Prince George's County.
Good, we'll get it going.
Thank you, sir.
You got another bill?
Can I ask, I think I have a.
You can bring them up.
Yeah, can the folks from the panel
Zach
come up?
Levin and Teresa Hessler, come on up.
Yep, perfect. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. For the record, Senator Alonzo Washington here on Senate Bill 864. This bill is a really good bill, Mr. Chairman, where it lowers the tuition waiver eligibility age that sits right now at the age of 13 to age of 8. This is for youth who are adopted, reunified, or placed in guardianship after at least 1 year in foster care. This bill ensures children who achieve permanency early in childhood do not lose access to higher education support. This bill aligns eligibility with the real adoption timelines and Maryland's permanency goals. As many as you know, National Adoption Council data shows most children adopted from foster care are under the age of 10. This bill goes down to slightly to the age of 8. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the fiscal note. There's really no new local government costs. The tuition exemption is administered at state level. There's minimal administrative changes. Institutions already verify foster care status. Adjusting the age threshold requires no new systems. Let me just speak to a piece of it of the fiscal note that talks about how they can't quantify how much it will cost eventually. That's because we don't know how many children are going to be in foster care. But this incentive here is to make sure that we incentivize parents to have these children at an earlier age and have this option for these children. Have these options for these children so they can go to college. If any one of these children go to college and they find someone at age 8, but then they might go back into the system at age 13 and never be reunified again, then we want them to be eligible for this. I believe it's the state of Maryland should step up to the plate and make sure that not all children will receive this, but just from 13 to the age of 8 and up is what we want to do here. So this is a simple bill. It's a meaningful fix that supports stability, opportunity, and permanency. It ensures children who find permanent families early in life are not disadvantaged and aligns Maryland's policy with what child welfare professionals already know. Early permanency leads to better outcomes, and what we want here in the state of Maryland is better outcomes for these foster youth. Mr. Chairman, I ask for a favorable report on this bill.
Thank you. Thanks for your great testimony. I was mistaken. I guess we did hear this bill already. So you all are already there. Just brief, maybe less than a minute.
I'll do my best. Thank you, Mr. Chair. And good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. For the record, Teresa Hessler here on behalf of the Maryland Association of Resources for Families and Youth in support of Senate Bill 864, which is cross-filed with House Bill 982. This is simple legislation, like the senator said, and it can make a life-changing impact on children in Maryland. I included a variety of quotes in my written testimony, but I wanted to read one out loud from a 15-year-old named Eva. Children like me are passed over all of the time for cute, cuddly toddlers. We don't get picked first and we don't get picked second, but we've become resilient through a lot of the times we've been dispensable. And sadly, this reflects the experience of many children waiting in foster care. Once a child reaches age 10, their chances of being adopted decline by roughly 50%, regardless of how much time they've spent in care. With each additional year, those odds continue to decline. What we are asking for here is a way to achieve permanency and long-term save the state money. If these children stay in care, the state already pays for their tuition in state, so nothing changes there. All it does is lower the age of eligibility to get them into homes. Thank you.
Yes, sir. 1 minute, just since you're there. We usually don't take testimony on the cross-file, but go ahead.
Thank you. Esteemed members of the committee, for the record, my name is Zach Levin, Chief of Staff for Delegate Miracle North, but I'm here today in personal capacity to offer support for Senate Bill 864. To keep it brief, you've already heard the story of Julian, the little sister of my partner that we have guardianship over, and how the foster care tuition waiver has been such a transformative policy for her. And this legislation will just expand that policy to a small number of children, but for those children, it will transform their lives. So I really just want to emphasize how important this legislation is for those kids, and I ask for a favorable report.
Any questions for the bill sponsor of the panel? Well, it's a great bill. Thanks for bringing it to us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Good to see you, Senator. Delegate McCray, or Senator McCray, come on up. I didn't mean to try to promote you like that. $461. I think this is a cross file.
Top three, huh?
I don't know. We'll see how you do.
All right, Mr. Chair. Senate Bill 461, for the record, Corey McCray, Senator for the 45th Legislative District. This bill is pretty simple. It just updates eligibility requirements for our heat and eat program.
All right, that's a way to get your bill passed. Any questions for Senator McCray? All right. Next bill is 606, Maryland Easy Pass.
Senate Bill 606, and for the record, Corey McCray, Senator for the 45th Legislative District. Mr. Chair, I've just been having a number of challenges with Easy Pass in reference to us going all tolling, in reference to the payback measures, how we lose trips after a certain period. Had a conversation with the respective director. He's supportive of the bill, but I do ask them to come up with ideas for those folks that may have challenges, but also have one alternative, being able to use the Maryland Easy Pass as that system, and just ask for a favorable report for Senate Bill 606.
Any questions for Senator McCray on this bill? It's good to see you, sir.
Always, man. Yeah. School of Mr. Chair, Ben Bonds, top three, huh?
You did pretty good. You're 5 now, top 5. You did good. You did a good job. All right, who we got next? Oh, we all have Senator Gazones. I think he was bringing to have staff come over. Yes, come on up. Welcome. See you. I think all the remaining bills are Chair Gazones. So we'll start with 378. And 378 has whoever's here from Senator Gazones' office and Ms. Polk and Ms. Sunderman. Welcome.
378. Yeah, 375. Libraries.
So we did hear this bill, and I got more witnesses than I've signed up for anyway. So we're going to go maybe just 1 minute for witnesses. We've heard the bill. I think the only change, we will hear witnesses there's change. I think just the amount of money is the only thing that's changed. So we don't really need testimony on that. Just tell us quickly, 30 seconds, bill we've already heard. Candidly, we're going to move this bill, so go ahead.
Okay, thank you. My name is Micaiah Polk here on behalf of Senator Gazzone's office to present this bill. It's just an extension of state funding beyond this fiscal year 2027. Libraries are growing across the state, and they'll face a funding cliff and a struggle to meet the growing persistent needs of their community if we don't extend the funding.
Yes. Anybody have anything to add? Okay. We're going to move the bill. We're going to get it going, okay? All right. Thank you all for being with us. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Senate Bill 379.
Yep.
This is a new bill?
Yes.
Yes. This is a new bill we have not heard before, so
Yes.
Ms. Polk and Mr. Hoff, come on up, and you have 2 minutes. And go ahead to Senator Gazzone's staff.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. Again, Micaiah Polk here to present this bill on behalf of Senator Gazzone. The Recovery Residence Grant Program was established within the Maryland Department of Health to award competitive grants to recovery residences that support essential operations services and programs. Recovery residents assist individuals seeking recovery from alcohol and/or substance use disorders by helping to break the cycle of addiction, rehabilitation, and relapse, thereby increasing the likelihood of sustained recovery. The program expands residents' access to increased recovery resources, resulting in greater resiliency and practical tools to support sustainable long-term recovery. Grant-supported residences emphasize increased individualized engagement with residents, creating a more personalized and meaningful recovery experience. The program further prioritizes the removal of barriers that prevent residents from navigating and achieving their personal recovery journeys. Enhanced life skill support with the focus on physical health, financial stability, and overall wellness equips residents with the skills necessary for independent living and long-term success. State investment in a recovery program reduces reliance on more costly emergency and crisis systems. Senate Bill 379 would further strengthen these efforts by extending through fiscal year 2030 the requirement that an annual appropriation of $500,000 be included in the state budget for the Recovery Residence Grant Program. And we ask for a favorable report. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for your great testimony. Great job. Mr. Polk was signed up. You have 2 minutes. Is Mr. Polk here? No? None, I don't have any other people signed up, but you were here, so I'm going to give you all 1 minute, okay? Since you're up there.
Thank you.
Yes.
My name is Tammy Nemiroff. I am the Administrator of Living in Recovery in Howard County. Living in Recovery is a state-certified nonprofit organization that provides safe, structured recovery housing that helps individuals transition from treatment to independent living through personal and peer accountability. Since 2010, we have supported over 400 individuals, with the majority maintaining sobriety during their time in the program. LIR serves 12 men and 5 women in 3 recovery residences, creating a family environment of fellowship and support. A typical stay is 6 to 12 months. At Living in Recovery, we use the Recovery Capital Framework through our pilot program to help residents successfully transition from recovery housing to independent living. What we consistently see are gaps in transportation, employment readiness, and access to health care. In addition, mental health services are lacking. Our certified peer recovery specialists help residents close these gaps by navigating systems, building resumes, and connecting with providers who understand long-term substance use recovery. Our peer team is trauma-informed and culturally competent, grounded in lived experiences, and aligned with peer support best practices. State investment in
Thank you. Just go ahead and wrap up.
State investment in a recovery capital program will reduce reliance on more costly emergency and crisis systems and supports long-term stability. Thank you for your consideration.
Hey, Mr. Hoff, I think I got you now. Mr. Hoff.
I am, yes.
Okay, you have
Thank
2
you.
minutes. You did sign up. And
I'm
then,
the chair of Living in Recovery. I'm also a man in long-term recovery. Tammy, she gave a great overview of what our program is. Basically, what this bill does is it allows our communities to provide best-in-class service for Marylanders that are most vulnerable. We can add services at a level that most communities are not able to do. So that's the critical path forward as we see funding continuing to be sliced and diced from the mental health and substance abuse from the federal administration. So favorable review would be super helpful.
and yes, if you'd like to testify. Okay.
I'm staff.
Okay, got it. All right. Well, thank you all for being with us. Any questions? Okay, get the bill. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks for what you do. Thank you for your advocacy. 762. So Ms. Polk, you can stay there. Lisa Watts, Rob Garagiola, Bobby Jones, and Tracy Lingo, you can come on up. We have heard this bill. We are familiar with the bill. I understand that there are a number of amendments, so if you can just focus all of your testimony just on the amendments, whether you're for the amendments, against the amendments, and what they do. Thank you.
Ready?
Yes, thank you.
Senate, it passed unanimously out of both the committee and the Senate. It was amended twice, once to add co-sponsors and the second to ensure that changes to the requirement from a construction plan being quote-unquote implemented to being completed. So those are the amendments. It was just 2.
Hello, good afternoon, members of the committee. It's good to see you all again, and they say third time's the charm. My name is Bobby Jones. I'm the general manager for Ocean Downs Racetrack and Casino, and I'm here today in support of Senate Bill 762. It's simple. Racetracks are big, old, aging facilities. Keeping them safe and modern takes significant investment. The current matching fund requirement can delay and prevent important improvements. We understand that some people are questioning where these funds come from. We're not asking for any new money. These funds were already established by VLTs. They were dedicated by the Racetrack Facility Renewal Account that was established in 2007 when slot machines were put in the state. Racetracks are economic anchors in the state of Maryland. Live racing supports restaurants, hotels, and other local businesses. Investment in our racetrack facility means increased attendance at both racetrack and casino and benefits all of our team members. This saying, down on the Eastern Shore is all boats rise in high tide, and this bill keeps safeguards in place, the flexibility for reinvestment responsibly, and keeps our racing strong. We respectfully ask for your support. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to. Hi, my name is Tracy Lingo. I'm the president of Unite Here Local 7. We represent the workers at Ocean Downs, and we also represent racetrack workers at Maryland Jockey Club. So we're testifying supportive, and we'd like to thank Senator Guzon and Representative McCaskill for this bill. We support racing, but when voters, I'm here not just with my union hat on, but also as a Baltimore City public school mom. When slots were approved and gaming was approved in the state of Maryland, we were told that it would bring good jobs, good family supporting jobs, and money for education. And unfortunately, Ocean Downs has the worst labor record of any of the casinos that are represented by Unite Here. We represent workers at MGM and also at the Horseshoe. The wages there are the lowest. I understand it's on the Eastern Shore, but the Economic Policy Institute says that the living wage for a one-wage earner family with only one child in Worcester County, where the casino is located, would be $72,000 a year. 93% of the non-tipped workers at Ocean Downs last year made less than $39,000, right? And so while Ocean Downs is owned by Churchill Downs, they had their most profitable year on record with a total revenue of $2.9 billion, sorry. And Ocean Downs itself, even after paying its gaming taxes, had revenue, even after paying the state gaming taxes, of $50 million. So we feel that Ocean Downs should be removed. This bill, what it does is removes the requirement for matching funds to be able to get the RFRA funds. We feel like Ocean Downs has not contributed to the community in terms of good living wage jobs, and so we would ask that that requirement not be removed from Ocean Downs. We're totally fine with that being removed from Racecroft. Racecroft is a traditional track with no other gaming income, while, as you've just heard, Ocean Downs gets a great deal of VLT income.
I just have something really short for you, and I promise I won't reiterate. We are here today, I represent the horsemen at Rosecroft and at Ocean Downs, but I have here in support of this bill, if you don't mind, the workers and horsemen. Would you mind standing up for me, please? They've all come over here to support this bill. This means a lot to the stability of the racing industry, and it's something that we really need, and it would be a great impact on us. I also have a letter here for you from DLLR and Maryland Racing Commission in support of this bill, and I thank you.
And thank you to all the workers who have taken time out of your schedule. Stay up really quick for me to come be here with us, taking time out of your day. Let us know how many of you from Ocean Downs, raise your hand. And how many Rosecroft? About even, okay. Great, well, thank you all so much. Thanks for being with us.
Rob Garagiola with Compass on behalf of CSOA, me too.
Okay.
Hi, so Chairman Barnes and members of the committee, thank you for the opportunity to be here again today in support of this important bill. My name is Lisa Watts, and I represent Rosecroft Raceway in Prince George's County. And this bill is very important to Rosecroft. It helps us reinvest in the facility and continue live standardbred racing. With that, I'd like to support Ocean Downs. One of the things that occur when the businesses do better is increased wages and more job opportunities. And Bobby is correct. One grows the other. Thank you for your time and your consideration on this bill.
Delegate McCaskill, our subcommittee chair.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you all for being here. I echo the chair's appreciation of you all being here. I just want to, for the record, want to make sure that there's a little clarification, and if follow-up need to be had, then so be it. This bill, that's the cross bill to 1598, with the inclusion of the amendments, and anyone can answer this. It does recapture, it has recapture provisions and oversight of certification, and there is regulatory implementation, and then there's also part of the thought around this is to make sure that there's long-term commitment. Is that so?
Yes, ma'am. It certainly is so. It's a long-term racing commitment in addition to recapture provisions if you don't meet those commitments.
Perfect. I just want to, for the record, address the concerns that my office and others may be having as well from the Unite Here labor union. And I just want to say that for many of you, you know that I am pro-labor. And so I appreciate the concerns that you have brought for the concerns of some of the workers at Ocean Downs. Ms. Tracy Lingo, we have had extensive conversation. I hope you believe that I have provided the platform for each of you to express your concerns. I just want to also make sure that we say for the record that you all are currently in negotiations at this time, and we want to make sure that those negotiations come to some satisfactory first, and that these two bills are actually two different bills. However, I do support the workers and making sure that we implement fairness at Ocean Downs, and we will be paying attention to that process.
We very much appreciate all of your work on this issue.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I'll be very brief because I think the subcommittee chair really summed up how I feel about, this bill and certainly about the concerns that were shared to us by the labor union that represents the workers. Certainly in support of the bill, would just encourage folks to just focus on, I know earlier was mentioned by one of the panelists, that when the business does good, so does wages, and I wouldn't disagree with that, but workers play an integral role into businesses doing well and succeeding. And so we got to make sure that we're taking care of the workers as well. And so my hope is that you all would be able to come to a conclusion as far as your negotiations, and one that takes into consideration the concerns of the workers. And thank you to the workers for being here, and certainly appreciate it. And thank you, Madam Subcommittee Chair. Me too.
So the workers are the heart and soul of our business.
Any other questions for the panel? Okay, thank you. Thanks for all for being here. We're going to end out here with House Bill 587. Polk, I think you're still here, or maybe Percy Hofstein and Stephanie Pedito, come on up.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. My name is Percy Hofstein. I'm a staffer in Senator Gazzoni's office, here to present Senate Bill 587, Maryland Patient Safety Center Fund funding. This bill passed both the committee and the Senate unanimously. This bill restores and sustains $1 million in annual state funding for Maryland's designated patient safety center. This is a targeted investment in the infrastructure that supports safer care across the state. It ensures equitable access to patient safety resources, protects healthcare workers, reduces costs to Medicaid and the state employee health plan, and ultimately keeps Marylanders safe. Maryland law designates the Patient Safety Center through the Maryland Healthcare Commission to lead system-wide safety improvements. In 2022, the General Assembly recognized the importance of that role and mandated annual funding to support it. In last year's constrained fiscal environment, that mandate was removed. This bill corrects that action and restores consistent funding for the Maryland Patient Safety Center, which also serves as the federally designated patient safety organization. From a fiscal perspective, preventable medical harm is extraordinarily costly. It leads to avoidable complications, longer hospital stays, readmissions, workforce strain, and significant Medicaid spending. Failing to invest in prevention does not eliminate costs, it shifts them to a more expensive point in the system. This investment also delivers statewide value. It ensures that smaller, rural, and non-hospital providers have access to the same safety infrastructure as larger systems. The benefits of safer care financially and otherwise accrue to the state as a whole. Maryland does not have a statewide, non-regulatory improvement arm that works across providers to translate those lessons into coordinated prevention. The Patient Safety Center fills that role, convening organizations in a protected, non-punitive environment to implement system-wide solutions. It does not duplicate state agencies, it complements them by turning data into action. For these reasons, we ask for a favorable report.
Great, excellent testimony, thank you, yes.
Thank you. Good afternoon, and my name is Stephanie Pedito, and I lead the Maryland Patient Safety Center. And I'm here, first of all, to thank you for including the Maryland Patient Safety Center in the FY27 budget, and ask for your support of Senate Bill 587, which provides ongoing funding for the work of patient safety. Just to share with you, I don't know if you're aware, 1 in 4 hospitalized patients experiences harm. If you're a pediatric Medicaid patient, you're 10% more likely to experience harm than a pediatric patient with private insurance. If you're in a nursing home, you have a 1 in 3 chance of having harm occur to you that requires hospitalization in the first month of your stay. And this is not just statistics. This is my daughter-in-law and son who lost a baby at 37 weeks gestation due to preventable complications of pregnancy. His name was to be Harlan. If you can imagine the pain that our family felt at that, and now multiply that to families of color whose skin is a different color than mine, who experience this pain twice as often as we do. The Maryland Patient Safety Center is here to address preventable morbidity and mortality from childbirth. We must address transitions of care for older adults and make care safer for older adults. We must help hospitals reduce infections and complications, help nursing homes, help urgent care centers understand and address pediatric sepsis in a timely way. These are costs that are borne by Medicaid and they're borne by the state in addition to other insurers. Every complication adds $10,000 to $30,000 onto the cost of a hospital stay. A nursing home patient that has to go back to the hospital because they got an infection adds $10,000. Again, borne by Medicaid, and as you all know, the Medicaid program needs some significant help this year. And as was already stated in testimony, these costs don't disappear if we don't invest in it up front. They show up later in other ways. And so investing in patient safety supports the healthcare workforce, it supports the state budget ultimately, and it supports better health equity in care. Thank you, and I request your support for our ongoing funding.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Had some ads budget on this did we do an ad last year? Yeah.
So last year, $200,000.
This year, right. I thought so. Got it. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, great testimony. Oh, we're adjourned.